whose remains were repatriated from India earlier in the day. The emotional ceremony has marked a pivotal moment in the country's political and national history. Odinga, a veteran opposition figure and former prime minister, has died during a medical trip to India, triggering a nationwide outpouring of grief. His body was received with full honors, and a public viewing was held to allow the citizens and dignitaries to pay their final respects. However, the memorial was marred by chaos, as tens of thousands of mourners who had gathered at the stadium to see Odinga's coffin fled in panic after security forces fired gunshots and tear gas to manage the large crowds. The sudden violence caused confusion and fear, with many injured in the stampede. Despite this incident, the official viewing went ahead, with President Ruto and other top leaders present. The government has since pledged to investigate the actions of security forces and ensure that the remaining funeral proceedings are peaceful and dignified. Further national tributes and ceremonies are expected in the coming days as Kenya continues to mourn one of its most influential political leaders. Now we move on to Middle East. Qatar's Energy Minister Saad Al-Kaabi has stated that Qatar will not be able to do business in the EU, including supplying Europe with LNG to plug its energy gap, if further changes are not made to its corporate sustainability rules. Qatar, one of the world's top liquefied natural gas exporters, has argued that the EU's corporate sustainability due diligence directive, adopted in 2024, poses a significant risk to state-owned Qatar Energy. The EU rule requires larger companies operating in the EU to find and fix human rights and environmental issues in their supply chains or face financial penalties. This week, the European Parliament's Legal Committee has backed plans to water down the law, having faced pushback from companies, but Kaabi has said that the changes did not address the key concerns. Now we move on to our next news. International Monetary Fund Chief Kristalina Georgieva has urged member countries to keep trade as an engine of growth for the world economy, despite President Donald Trump's steep new tariffs, warning that a larger scale trade war could have negative consequences. Georgieva, at the annual meetings of the IMF and World Bank, has mapped out a sober view of a global economy that was doing better than feared when IMF and World Bank members last gathered in Washington in April, but still faced many risks, including inflation, high debt, and growing unrest in countries around the world. The relative calm of recent months was shattered last week when China imposed new export controls on rare earth metals needed for the technology sector, and Trump responded to it by imposing new 100% duties on Chinese imports. Let's listen in to what the IMF's managing director has said.